Alright everyone, I'm going to talk about buffers. What is a buffer? Why you need one? What the best position for a buffer is at the beginning of your board or at the end of your board. And we're going to talk about this buffer pedal that I make called the Master Buffer. This is a 6-in-1 utility pedal. First and foremost, it's a buffer. Second, you have a attenuator, and we'll talk more about that later. Third, you have an effects loop, so you can plug in more effects through the loop here and engage it with the foot switch. You can also use it as a secondary out, so you can toggle between two amplifiers or two audio sources, and you can use it the opposite way around, where you can plug in a second guitar here, keyboard, acoustic guitar, theremin, whatever. You can plug in another audio source and toggle between that as well. Last but not least, if you're not using the effects loop at all, it is a kill switch, and I do mean a proper kill switch, as the input-output jacks for the looper have a stunt circuit, so everything is shorted out and dead quiet. So let's talk about buffers before we get further into this pedal. A buffer is a device that changes your high impedance signal into a low impedance signal. So your guitar pickup is a high impedance signal. The longer your cable is, the more signal will lose. So if you have a 15-foot cable in front of your board, another 10 or 12 feet in your board, and another 15-foot cable going to your amplifier, that's 40 or 45 feet that your guitar pickup has to push through. And if you were to plug a 3-foot cable directly to the amplifier, you would see how much signal you're actually losing. So we use a buffer to convert our high impedance signal into a low impedance signal. Then our guitar signal can run for hundreds of feet without losing any tone, and it should sound and feel like we're plugged in with that small 3-foot cable. Okay, so that's what a buffer does and why you need one. The other question is, what position is best, at the beginning or at the end? In my opinion, it's better to put the buffer at the end of your pedal board, and I'll explain why. If we only had a buffer pedal at the beginning of your pedal board, the next pedal you turn on, the impedance would be different from that point on. And I turn on the next pedal, the impedance will be different, and so on. So as we turn on different pedals, the impedance is jumping around. Even if the pedals themselves are low impedance, the impedance is still changing. So if we had the buffer at the end of our pedal board, the impedance remains the same, solid. Doesn't matter what pedals I turn on and the impedance moves around before, it's always going to have that same solid impedance to the amp, giving us consistent tone every time. Now, if you want to have a buffer at the beginning and at the end of your pedal board, that's 100% fine as well. That's, I would say, personal taste on how many buffers and where your buffers are at in your board, but I would say that the very end is where you want your main buffer. Now, I designed this buffer to be at the end of your pedal board, and that's why I put an attenuator on here. So this light here is always on because the buffer is always on. Now, the reason why I put an attenuator on here is being in different bands and playing different styles, I realized that not every single song, or maybe even within a song, not everything requires full-on guitar, and being able to adjust the volume to fall in the sweet spot so the guitar and the vocals aren't fighting with each other, or the guitar isn't fighting whatever's being the lead instrument at that point. This isn't a volume knob like that's on your guitar or a pedal. It never goes all the way down to 0. There's still about 15-20% signal at the very bottom. This allows you to, again, just tweak your volume and find the sweet spot. In the demo, I'll play a riff and I'll start turning the volume down so you can get a better idea on how I'm able to tweak the volume, but not the tone. The tone remains the same, and we're just kind of tweaking the volume. And all the way down, you will get down to like bedroom practice levels, which is nice. So you can, instead of turning the volume knobs down on all your pedals, you can just kind of do the overall volume and tweak it to your liking. Alright, let's talk about the effects loop. So this pedal right here is the same exact pedal. This is the prototype, but it's 100% the same. This is just a smaller, sleek version of that. So I have the reverb and delay pedal plugged into the effects loop right here on the buffer. So when I need to engage these pedals, all I have to do is press the switch, and I'm turning on both at the same time. So if these were actually in the loop and I wanted to use this setting, I would have to turn them both on, turn them both off whenever I needed them, and you do the pedal dance. When they're plugged into the loop, I can have them both engaged, ready to go the way I want them, and they're both on, they're both off. That eliminates a lot of pedal dancing. And also, them being in the loop, they're not in the signal path anymore, which keeps the signal path short and pure, and that's better for our overall tone. Another way you can use this pedal is coming out here into another amplifier. So we can toggle between two different amplifiers, and also on this side we can come in with another guitar, another audio source, and toggle between that. And like I was saying earlier, if there's nothing plugged into the effects loop, this will be a kill switch, which is good to have. Let's say you have your drive, a boost, a fuzz, a boost, and you have your setting pretty gnarly, and even with the guitar volume all the way off, it's noisy, so it's hissing. That'll kill that noise until the song is ready to start. Or maybe you have a setting going that has a lot of feedback when you're not playing. So when it's time to cut out, you'll be playing the riff, cut out, no feedback. Jump back in, cut out, no feedback. Or at the end of a song, whatever have you, having a kill switch is also pretty handy. I think that covers it all, so let's plug it in and go through all the features. Alright, this is going to be the buffer test. First I'm going to play my dry signal, then I'm going to plug in the buffer. Currently my signal path is a 15-foot cable into the crybaby, looper, drive, fuzz, and then out to my amplifier. Don't even worry about these pedals, they're not in the signal path. If they were, it would sound even worse. Okay, the next thing I'm going to demo is the kill switch. So if there's nothing plugged into the looper, this becomes a kill switch. So I'm going to make some white noise and some feedback, and we'll knock all that out with the kill switch. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the delay pedal and reverb pedal into the looper. So out of the looper, out into the delay pedal, and then out of the reverb, back in to the looper. Every time I need to engage these pedals, all I have to do is click that switch. Okay, next we're going to demo the AB input selector. So I have my bass guitar recorded on this ditto looper, and I'm going to plug that into the return. So this could be a secondary guitar, an acoustic guitar, whatever, a keyboard, and this is going to be my bass. So when I press the toggle switch, it's going to go from my main signal over to my secondary one, which is going to be the bass guitar. So this is the bass. Alright, next I'm going to demo the AB out. So I'm going to come out of the pedal here, and this can go to a second amplifier, so you can toggle between two amplifiers. I have this plugged directly into the recording board, so we're going to go between my amplifier and the direct signal. Okay, next I'm going to display the attenuator. I'm going to play a song, and then I will be tweaking the volume as I play.